everyone, welcome and happy 2025. I hope that it's been going well for you. So for today, I'll be painting a look from one of Galeano's show, and I'm using the Daniel Smith iridescent paints, which I've gotten for like a long time but haven't really used in a while, so I thought that they would be perfect to bring out the features and the shine. So I'll be sharing some art along with some thoughts that I've got for 2024 and outlining some goals that I like to work towards in the new year. My art in 2024 was quite lackluster as I was like in a limbo or like a rut for a while now actually, and I've like been saying it for a while now as well. So the thing is, I don't only feel this way about my art, but also like with the direction or the trajectory of my life. And your creative output is a reflection of your state. And I felt like my art reflected that. And I'd been looking for that spark. And I just keep trying to force it out of my art, but it doesn't work like that, not this time around. So I've been using ways or like methods that I've always championed, which was like to use new mediums, but that didn't really help. So, and I realized that like I was just in a lull. I felt like a lot of things weren't working out the way I wanted to. And I realized also that maybe because of my art, I kept only like looking at the results and not fully enjoying the process. And that my sketches probably was also too quick, and it wasn't usually centered around like a theme or like a research or process behind it. It was just like a reference sketch, and I feel like that takes away, I don't know, when I look at my art, I don't have that kind of a sense of accomplishment that I did way earlier when I was still figuring things out, and there was still like a lot left to be desired, and I feel like that kept me hungry in a way, and I don't really feel that when I see it now. And it's kind of sad to say it like this, but I mean, I still really like art, but it's just that some days, I guess, it's just it doesn't work out, and I've just got to like step aside from it and then come back with like a fresh mind or when I feel more inspired. So I just really want to take more time with my art or like my illustration, but I think it's also a good time now that I start working on my original intention or like my original dreams to create and design. And the creative process of that, from like designing with sketches to making toiles and going through iterations of it, seeing what works and what don't, and then then it transpiring to the final product, the final outcome, and then you wearing it. And I feel like it just brings me a lot of joy. But it not only brings, I guess, like that emotion, because sometimes it don't work out, and then, I will have to go back to the drawing board again to, iron out the details or to see if I should just scrap the whole design completely. And I feel like that was like that process was what I used to have with my art, because I was still figuring things out, and I feel like that was what made it really fun, and that sense of accomplishment of making something come to life. So I think I just neglected the learning process behind making illustrations. That's why I've been taking illustrations a little bit slow, and I feel like it's gonna be on the back burner for a little bit unless I feel inspired and I just really want to sketch. Then I will share with you guys what I did. In the meantime, I will be sharing some old art, which I already did for my 2017 art, and I feel like it's really fun for you guys to see my process back when I was like, learning, and it felt tremendous like joy and accomplishment from that. And I think it's also good for myself to just a self-reflection and to feel inspired again. And yeah, I'll be sharing more to come. Now on to some YouTube goals. So I'm grateful that a lot of you guys are still sticking by despite my terrible upload schedule, and I tend to abandon channel like once in a while, but I've been trying to avoid that and like be consistent even though it's like slow uploads, but I try to maintain it that way because it's not really fair for you guys as well. And I've got some videos like idea planned out, but it's just time for me to get down to doing that. And I've also got some travel plans coming up soon, and I'll share snippets of the fun times. Another one of my goals is to be more active and also to spend less time on social media. So I've been restricting my use of social media because I feel like it really drains like energy and creativity, and time could be better utilized. Like I could just like be on my phone and 3 hours would just pass. So I just want to, I just want to be more like wary or like conscious of how I spend my time. So I want to consume more experiences and knowledge, and I want to read more books. So in 2024, I've only read a couple of books, and it's really sad. And I really enjoyed this one book that I read, and it's called The World of the End. And I always feel like a sense of lost or like a downtime when I've just like completed a book, and I really enjoyed it, but I can't find another that is of that caliber to like fuel the imagination or like escape. And I've also got like a long list of film recommendations to get through. I guess my most recent watch was No Country for Old Men. And I usually like to watch archives or like things that are recommended on like from like cinephiles and things like that. I like to go through the list and see if I like them as well. So yeah, I just want to do more of that and just, try to understand the world a little bit better. On to my dreams, and I want to take steps to building or realizing the dream I've always had. So when I was younger, I was very ambitious, and I felt that that feeling is slipping away from myself, and I've got to like do something about it. So my dreams and like the road to how to achieve it was always really vivid when I was younger, but now I feel like all that's left is like the ghost of it. And maybe it's because like I'm growing up and I pick up more like responsibilities and I have work and things like that. And things don't always like go the way of your dreams, I guess. So sometimes you do stray further away from that, but I believe like what's meant to be will be, and I've just got to like prepare myself for that eventual day. I've just got to work on myself because that's the only thing that is in my control, and then what's left is just up to like, the universe. And my mom always tells me like it's important to work on yourself so when the opportunity arises that like you have got what it takes, I guess. So yeah, and I just want to practice like more self-discipline, like, doing it even when you don't want to. Which, it's kind of like a 50-50 for me. Sometimes I'll give in to it, sometimes I would not. And yeah, I just need to know like, that I'm the one that has to lead my life, and the consequences of like my actions or like my non-actions. So I think towards the end of 2024, I really start to like pull back the focus on building my collection to making it real. I went to like get my labels made and things like that. And it was really like fun. It was like when I got it, there was just like a sense of like, I don't know, it's just really exciting. And, putting it on the pieces that are completed, seeing something become 2D to like 3D, making like the collection real and things like that. Because it has always been like sketches and research, but never like a physical creation. I just always talk, but I don't do. And that amounts to nothing. So I think my process is still a little bit choppy and could be improved just because like I usually work on my collections on the weekends, but I've been dedicating time now on the weekdays as well, like weekday nights, to just iron out the details and just to make like the process a bit more seamless for myself. And I think working through the weekdays also kind of helps to build momentum for the weekends. I really enjoy the entirety of making, seeing it become real from like a sketch to the final piece. And I think like that is like the spark that I felt back then when I was doing illustrations and things like this. And even when sometimes like the samples come up differently and not really what I wanted, even though it's not so, it's like a smaller percentage of that happening, but it's just part of the process. It's just trial and error, and yeah, it's just part of it, and I enjoy every bit of it. I'd also given myself a soft deadline for the collection, and I will share more of the process and the outcomes with you all when the time is right. So I think that's kind of it for today's video. And ultimately, I always think that the most important thing is always like your health and your happiness. Two things go hand in hand with almost everything. You have got to be healthy to work on your goals and your dreams, and like happiness is also like what that follows suits, you know? So I feel like those two and nothing else matter. And just have people that you love around you. So, yeah, I wish you guys all the best in 2025. And I hope that you get to do everything you want and, you know, have always wanted. Thank you guys all for watching. And I hope to see you guys very soon in my next one. Bye.